also got a bit of the Oasis gig drawn around the back of it now.
Robbo, commiserations. Just give us your take on that game first.
Yeah, look, it's obviously very disappointing, and rugby league's about fine margins, and I felt like we conceded a few really soft tries. That one down the short side where Leigh scored, I thought were really, really, really soft after doing an amazing effort to all chase back. I thought the first try when we just let Pape get out and just put one at middles over through a gaping hole, I thought we were a little bit soft, but one thing I did see tonight, which hopefully everybody else saw, was we had some fight in us. There was some definite fight. It'd be very easy at 28-6 for us to throw the towel in, and I thought there was some real fight in us to actually stay in the game. I thought we looked we had way more attacking threat with Tui and Clooney playing together. I thought George really good at fullback once again. I thought we were safe from the high ball, and we're pretty good with ball in hand, so we look a little bit more threatening now. So there was some things we were a bit disappointed with defensively. I thought we could have shown a little bit more resolve in his goal line defence, but as fight and as playing for each other and playing for the badge, hopefully it were evident for everybody to see. So some negatives we've got to take, and what lessons we've got to learn. But then on the flip side, there's some really good stuff. And look, don't get me wrong, they're a really good talent side. I think they're the most in post-contact meters. And Pape's got the most run meters in the league. They're really dangerous, and Lammy's got the most try assists in the whole league. So they're a really threatening team, and they put us under a lot of pressure in the end. But we were good. Look, at a decent contest in the end.
How frustrating is it that it's one of those where again it's taken conceding a couple of tries in both halves as well to seemingly sort of kick you into gear a little bit?
Yeah, really frustrating because I thought we were getting on top of the back end of the first half. We don't get much help. I don't know if I'm going to have a word with somebody. We don't get any penalties ever. We just don't get penalties. I think it was last week they gave us a penalty with about a minute to go at half time when seemingly the half were over. And this week, I don't know, for 55, 60 minutes before we got a penalty, I need to work out what we can do as a team or what we're not doing why we're not getting penalties. And maybe it's something we're doing or something we're not doing, which is probably a question I need to ask because it starves your field position when you don't get any penalties and the opposition do get penalties. But from us, yeah, look, I thought the first half, the opening set of the first half, we rolled them. We had a really good set. We kicked the ball into the left corner, and the ball bounced. We had an opportunity. Swifty passed the ball back over. Harry, we're inside there 20, looked like we could score. Harry Rushton chips the ball. It goes about 3 inches too far. 7 tackles set. They get the repeat set, and from there they camp down an hour and a half. And it's those fine moments in games that sometimes that we probably just need to, we need to get a little bit better at.
We saw you on Sky pretty frustrated at that very last sort of play. Was it a knock-on in your opinion?
What did you think?
It looked 50-50 at the very least.
And do you know what? Again, you don't get the rubber green when it's not going your way, but the players were screaming at Leroy to actually captain challenge, but you can't captain challenge it. In reflection, I said next time we'll give a penalty away. When you know something's wrong, or you give a penalty, just rip the ball, stop it, and then once the game's stopped, you can actually go for a captain's challenge. So it's probably a lesson on our behalf. If we feel like the ref and the touch judges haven't seen something or got something a little bit wrong, then stop the game, give a penalty away, and hopefully it will go our way.
It was the first time tonight that you got Tui and Adam Clune in your arms, right? I think there's a bit of disruption there, nearly as well.
Yeah, we like a bit of drama this season, don't we? Everything seems to be a bit of drama everywhere we go. Tui actually got stuck on the motorway, so there's an accident on the M62. The Clooney and them saw it, just managed to get off. Tui a little bit behind, along with Jake Webster, who's part of the coaching staff now. It's not moved, so we made a decision. I got Billington, Jack, to drive up, and pretty much, Tui told me that he's pretty much at junction 23. I can see the A road. If somebody can get to the A road, we can swap cars. So Jack Billington got to the A road. Tui got out, got in his car and drove down. The problem for Billington is he's still sat there right now. So he's been sat on the M62 and it's still not moving. Both him and Jake Webster have just FaceTimed us. They're on the motorway still, so he's been sat there all that time in Tui's car. So Tui's got some food for him. He's going to take some food up to him now. Hopefully give him a big thank you. Probably testament to Billington really, Jack. He's a really good lad. He's put the team first. Once again, he's done what's good for the team. So yeah, we owe him a few beers. Definitely owe him a few beers. But it was nice to actually get Tui back on the field with Clooney. You know, I don't think it's... With one thing you don't do in sport is or in rugby league, you don't generally try to change your spine. When teams go well, they keep the same spine members and keep a bit of, you know, and sometimes it's forced upon you. But it'd be nice now if we can get a little bit of a run together where I'm not changing too much in that, because I thought we looked a lot, not in probably the first half, but in the second half in particular, we looked a lot more threatening when them two were playing together with George at the back.
How close was Tui to potentially not even making it?
Very, very close. The boys were all warming up before he got here, so it were. I think he only got here about 10 minutes before the game started. So he's sort of just, if you look, he runs on, he actually sprints onto the pitch and just joins the warm up. So yeah, very close. You know, we had discussions with the match officials, because I thought if he gets here a little bit late, I'll put him on the bench, put Kez to start, but I'd have lost the sub. Really weirdly, I could have brought somebody in from the 21, but not changed the sub to somebody. But yeah.
Have you ever known anything like that to happen before in your career at all?
No, but I'm sure something will arise that I've never seen before this year. By the time the year's done, I'm sure there'll be something else. But again, I thought it showed a lot of calmness from Tui. You know, he sat on the motorway for quite a long time, then rushed down and didn't have a warm-up, and I thought he had a pretty good game, along with, you know, a lot of other lads that had decent games. So probably testament to him, you know, that we managed to get through that, and it'll be better for the game time.
And your spine's been sort of here, there and everywhere throughout the season, as we well know. Now that you've got, I guess, an idea of what the strongest spine is, and they've shown tonight that they can produce points and produce tries, does that at least fill you with a bit of confidence on the attacking front going forward? Because we know you've struggled in the last couple of weeks with that aspect.
Yeah, definitely. I think we look more threatening. We do look more threatening, and we had some really good touches. Obviously, some stuff we can obviously improve on, but I thought in the second half we were getting on top, weren't we? We were getting on top. We were making breaks. We were actually, you know, just before Sam Alsall's interception, about a couple of sets before, we had a scrum 10 metres off their line. I think if we would have just passed it to Bibby, I think we'd have gone over for a try anyway. But it's nice to know that we are actually creating those opportunities now. We're not always making the right decisions, which inevitably you won't, but at least we're putting ourselves in positions to actually score points.
No Jacob Gaga tonight. What's the reason for that?
He's at home. His grandma is at home in Australia. Yeah, look, he's very, very close to his family. His grandma in particular, he got a phone call saying that she's not in a very good way and that she might not have very long left. He rang me up on the phone, pretty much inconsolable, really, trying to get his words out. So pretty much me and Andy Kelly, I rang Andy Kelly up, and I think everyone knows what type of club we are. We're a family club. We're owned by Ken Davey, who's family first. He's obviously a top bloke, and we have that sort of moral compass throughout the team, throughout the club as well. So we're a case of, I think Andy Kelly pretty much booked him on a flight about 2 hours later, and he was on his way back to Australia to spend some valuable time with her. So we're just hoping he gets back there in time, and we hopefully he gets to spend some time with her.
Cheers, Robert.
Just on Tui then, so they literally had to run off the M62 to get to a car.
Yeah, Jake Webster was obviously just joined the coaching staff. We're on his way. It was going to be Jake Webster's first game, and he was a couple of cars behind Tui. He sort of FaceTime just before the game. So I've just seen Tui run across the M. Obviously, nothing's moving on the M62. It's literally it's stationary. There's nothing moving. There's obviously tape in front of it too. He says where you just can't move. So like, Tui's then. Everybody on the motorway is outside their vehicle, so it's not a case of he hasn't done anything dangerous. They just FaceTimes. Then there's about 10 people actually stood in the middle of the motorway, then just talking and chatting. So it's not. There were nothing dangerous, but Jake was laughing, saying he just seen Tui crawl up the banking at the junction 23 towards the bridge to get here. So yeah, that's Jake. Well, we're giggling, saying I've just seen one of our players crawling up a bank into a bridge, and then Billington come the other way down.
Just on Jake Webster, what will he be? What will his role be? What will he do?
Look, it's no secret really. There's only me and Finney in the first team staff that are coaches. Finney's also the reserve team coach, so it sometimes can spread us a little bit thin, in comparison to a lot of others. So club have been really good, and Jake's been coming in voluntarily. He's still got a role with Keithley, but he's been coming in and helping out in training, doing a lot of work just with the outside backs, and generally just being an help. And we've managed to come up with a sort of bit of a solution where we can come in and continue that for the rest of the year, which is going to be a very big help to not only me but Finney, but everybody else. So it's going to be his first game today.
Is there any updates to when poor old Jack Billington will actually start moving?
Well, I thought Tui, being a mate of his, might not bother getting a shower, but I just heard him on the phone then saying, once I've had a shower, I'll go pick you some food up, and we'll swap roles.
That's how you repay him, isn't it?
Yeah, I did say, next time there's a bit of a social event, I think the lads all need to probably chip in to Jack and make him show him a little bit of love for what he's done.